noting King had disappeared. Her family then got in touch with the FBI and State.
So the video was on the 19th. I'm gonna be stopping it here and there. For the people I know, people come in that are new to the channel, and probably some, probably you guys are like, "Oh, let it play," or even the people watching it, or the people watching the replay. I'm gonna post a link down in the comment section so you guys can check it out. But so this video was recorded on the 19th, right? She arrived on 14. This was recorded on the 19th, and she went missing on the 19th. But they're saying also that they didn't report it until days later. We need the specific date of when they reported it to.
Organizer just days after their daughter arrived, noting Ng had disappeared. Her family then got in touch with the district, assisting students with disabilities. Her family says they received a call from the yoga retreat organizer just days after their daughter arrived, noting Ng had disappeared. Her family then got in touch with the FBI and State Department, something Walder says is the best first step. Let's say that this happens to you. You're back home in the States, your family member's traveling,
right
and then they disappear. What
Check
are
it out,
the
yeah.
steps that you take to start an investigation at all?
Not bad, yeah. Yeah, this is good information that we're about to hear because I mean, knock on wood, we don't want this happening to no one. We don't want this, to happen to anyone. But sometimes, you might need this type of information if somebody's going through this. Especially we cover these type of cases, so we can that way we can provide some information in case someone goes missing. But check this out.
Let's say that this happens to you. You're back home in the States, your family member's traveling, and then they disappear. What are the steps that you take to start an investigation at all?
So, obviously, the first thing that you're going to do, because you're here in the States, so I'm just going to look at it from a state perspective, because obviously there's two different avenues here. From a state perspective, the first thing you would probably want to do is actually call the FBI, because the FBI is going to be the law enforcement point person for any international investigation. So she's from California. And so, yes, I think one might be inclined to notify like their local or their state police, and that's all fine. But I do think the first call should be to whatever your local FBI office is. I think based on where she's from, it's probably the LA field office, but I'm not certain. Um, they are the people then
Yeah,
that are
because she's
going
LA
to
County.
liaise with the Guatemalan authorities on your behalf. And so the very first call should be to the FBI.
FBI.
The second call should probably be to the Department of State. And then they will put you in contact with the embassy, and you would provide all of the travelers' information to the embassy.
You said the Guatemalan government is going to be leading this investigation. So, what would that investigation look like with the assistance or liaison of the FBI?
Yeah, this is good to know too. In case if you guys travel somewhere, man, you guys are stuck down in whatever country, and you guys don't know maybe, or you guys just have a couple of minutes. It's one of those times that you only have one call, and you want to know this information. First things first, you got to call the FBI.
So it's a little bit different because when we look at like Idaho, for example, and I want to kind of juxtapose it with this, with Idaho, obviously you have the Moscow PD is the point of that investigation. Idaho State Police is helping them, the FBI is helping them, but they're brought in as guests, right? And they only help as much as
They're
Moscow
talking about Idaho, but they're talking about another case here. They're just giving an example.
is asking them to help. This is different. And the FBI is probably going to be working side by side with the local Guatemalan authorities because Guatemala wouldn't technically have jurisdiction over her. The FBI would. And so at that point, they're not an invited guest like it is here locally with some of the crimes that I know we've discussed before. This is a case where the FBI has to get involved per international law, is compelled to get involved and be working side by side. Typically, I don't usually hear about international jurisdictions not being okay with that. It's really
they're mentioning Idaho, but it's for a different case, and she's just saying that every place, depending on the state, is going to have a different jurisdiction.
just kind of standard protocol in how things are done. When you have a foreign national, it would work conversely here that same way in the United States.
Walder says there may be FBI agents already located in Guatemala, but more have likely been brought in from the U.S. to assist in the search.
Yeah.
What Guatemala has, they may have a legal attaché already there because of their proximity to our border, and some of the other border issues that I know we're dealing with in like Central and South America. We
Yeah.
may already have one there. So if that's the case, that person would be working with them. But we have to remember the FBI is a domestic organization. And so this wouldn't be an FBI office full of 24 agents, right? This would
Yeah.
be an FBI office of maybe one, maybe two on a good day.
Yeah.
And so they would be
It's a different
bringing
country.
in FBI agents to probably assist.
Authorities in Guatemala say Ng was
Yeah, I mean it's man, this case is gonna be hard, man. It's gonna take a while and a lot of people.
last seen kayaking with a group of tourists before she and another person broke off from the group. After paddling for about a mile,
There she goes,
Ng
right.
reportedly jumped in and began swimming. After that, she disappeared. Multiple reports cite witnesses who last saw Ng in Guatemala have not been forthcoming with investigators. Is that normal?
They don't wanna talk, man. They don't wanna talk. People are not coming forward. For what I hear, some people are already lawyered up. Allegedly, this is what I heard on the internet. But let's see what she says now about these people that are not coming forward, and these people are supposed to be the people from the retreat, some friends. I'm telling you guys, the family, the authorities need to look into last year's retreat because she went around the same time to the same spot and see who she met. They need to get I don't know if they have her computer or her cell phone. I don't know. I don't think she had her cell phone with her. Um, or I don't know. Or maybe they can search the records, the phone's records. They can try to access them and get some information and see who she messaged with, who she was contacting. Maybe there's some video there too. Some pictures.
Normal for these people not to be cooperative?
In my opinion, no. That would be
People not to be cooperative? Guatemala have not been forthcoming with investigators. Is that normal for these people not to be cooperative?
In my opinion, no. That would be my first, I guess, red flag. When I was a special agent, people not being cooperative,
Yeah,
subversive to the point that
guilty.
they want to go back to the states.
What are they hiding?
To me, is a
While both NetSuite and QuickBooks
Here we go. Let me let the commercial play. Yeah, but what are they? Where are these people hiding? You know why they don't want to cooperate? It's the same thing with the. I'll say it again. The Shinquella case. Um, unluckily, for what I know so far about the Shinquella case, the authorities here they have dropped the investigation. Very sad, man. Hope they reopen that, and we'll follow up with that case too. But let's keep on listening to this right here.
cooperative, subversive to the point that they want to go back to the states. To me, is a red flag. Now, look, obviously, people's behavior we can't predict what it's going to do in an emergency type of
That's
situation.
weird.
So maybe they're just making poor choices. I don't know. But the fact that they're being subversive and they're not being forthcoming, in my opinion, is disconcerting because it sounds like this was just a yoga retreat, nothing necessarily nefarious going on. And maybe there were nefarious.
Mm, man, you never know what they were up to, man. There, without respect to the family. I mean, uh, this place, man. It has a lot of history, man. It has a lot of history. This location, and it's a beautiful spot, but it's not good history or in the past. But that's it for another video that I'm gonna talk about this location too at the Atitlán and its past. But only they know what's going on, man. Kidnap.
Things going on that had nothing to do with her. I don't know. But either way, I would think that it sounds like this was her second one, perhaps with the same organization. So these are probably people that she knows, maybe. And I don't understand why they wouldn't be more forthcoming. Even I get wanting an attorney when you speak to law
You
enforcement.
want an
But
attorney?
if this is
What?
simply a missing person situation, I'm not sure why they would
Mm-hmm.
want to lawyer up that quickly.
At this point, it's still unclear what
There
exactly
you guys
led
have it. She's even saying it. The former CIA. Sorry, that was my Spanglish right there. But the former CIA is saying that they don't know why they have to lawyer up, man. I mean, they won't talk, but they're gonna lawyer up. What's going on there, man?
led up to Ng's disappearance. Walder says it could change into a criminal investigation, but it would depend on the facts experts collect.
There's not necessarily a pinpoint in the investigation when that would happen. Once they've gone through all of her digital records or even looked at where she was staying, like kind of gone through that physical area,
Yeah.
and coupled with the fact that witnesses are not being forthcoming, they may declare this as some kind of a criminal investigation, which means that will definitely change the scope of it. But sometimes that can take weeks or months, depending on how long it takes to go through everything, particularly when you're dealing with a foreign country.
And what this really boils down to, even though she is in Guatemala, she's still a missing person. I mean, that's the main part of this investigation. So what are the first steps that investigators, both Guatemalan and American FBI agents, what are they doing to kind of track her down?
Good
So
question.
probably two things. Obviously, any digital devices that she left behind have probably been.
That's what I was talking about. Got to try to find those
Seized.
cell
My
phone
guess
records.
is they also got digital warrants or digital subpoenas to whatever her carrier was. I don't know what it was, but I'm sure that they're trying to look at those text messages or any interesting phone numbers that she may have called, social media, all of that digital stuff they're obviously doing. But on the other side, they're probably were interviewing witnesses, but it's my understanding that witnesses have not been cooperative and that they're all back here in the States.
Whoa. They're back in the States. That's the thing, man. That's the thing with I mean, every government is different, and another country, they're gonna be different. But what they needed to do was hold them over there till there was an investigation. But once they come over here, that's what happened with the Shanquella case, man. The people, the friends, even the person that came out in the video, beating her up, she's back over here, and they're not prosecuting them. Once they're here, they can't prosecute them over there in that other country, and for them to prosecute them here, they need to do first the prosecution in whatever country this happened, and then the negotiation to bring them back into the country. But
Which is disturbing.
A
We're interviewing witnesses, but it's my understanding that witnesses have not been cooperative and that they're all back here in the States, which is disturbing.
A GoFundMe page has already raised nearly $50,000 to assist in the search for Ng. According to the page, the money is going toward helicopter search and rescue teams, divers, boat rescue teams, and potentially even submarine or sonar equipment.
yeah, they're here already.
Walder says all this and the private search team the family has hired could be beneficial.
Families that have the means, there's nothing wrong to be said about, hiring another layer.
Yeah, I mean, if they have the means, man, they're blessed. They're very, very blessed. That if they have the means, and then two, that they're very blessed that a lot of people are helping them, and donating. So it's for a good cause. Times are hard, man. If you guys cannot donate, if you guys can, go ahead and donate to the GoFundMe page. If you guys can't, share the story, man. If you guys can also share this video, spread the word. Let's do it. So, luckily with Shanquella, man, I mean, I hope, man, for that case to reopen.
Of people to investigate. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. It sounds like they have
Truth
the
on their
means to
logo.
do that. It is going to become complicated though, because I'm not certain the laws in Guatemala governing private investigators and what they're allowed to do and what they're not allowed to do. Here in the US, it's defined.
All right, so gotta let this play. I was gonna read right here. Maybe this flyer that they made that's in Spanish. Uh, maybe it's an old flyer, but down here, down below, it says observations. Probably they're saying probably she fell down in the lake. I'm telling you, man. There's a lot of confusion, and then some people are saying that she drowned. So how do they know she drowned? Right? Some people are just saying that she just vanished and disappeared when she was on the kayak, but
it's defined. But I don't know about Guatemala unless they hired someone in Guatemala to help them. And if that's the case, then they would, of course, adhere to whatever Guatemalan laws were.
As the clock ticks on, Walder says the search for Ng will become more difficult, but it's not hopeless.
I want to obviously be respectful to her family and to her friends and to all of the people that loved her. However, I'm concerned that it's been, what, about 3 weeks
It's
at
been a
this
long time,
point,
yeah.
and there hasn't been any developments or any leads in it. As time gets further and further and further away, the chance of someone being found safe isn't as high. But I want to
Yeah,
remain,
it's hard.
sensitive to her family and her friends.
Walder also suggests taking precautions when traveling to another country,
Yeah.
like giving your family back home updates and downloading safety apps onto your phone.
The first thing is there is obviously the State Department app that you can put in your phone that tells you all the warnings through all the countries. But there is also an app that will, what it does is
What app is this? Let me write
with
it
a
down.
touch of a button on your phone, it will
Mm,
call the 911 equivalent in that country. Because no matter what country we're in, we don't know what their 911
true.
system is.
Hey, that's true, man. You travel to other countries. I think some 211 is 911, and I can't remember where. And this
It's
is good
not
to know.
911. And so I think that's sort of a key thing as well. Also, there's apps where you can overseas for free share your geolocation with six
It's
people that you've
important.
already put into your phone.
Oh, that's
And so
pretty
I
cool.
think something like that would be very
So
helpful.
with this app, like you can share with, like you can assign 6 people or a certain amount of people, so they get the signal. Some shit happens, excuse my language. Um, something happens, you just hit that button and there it is.
For example, if she had programmed her parents or her friends, they would know the last known geolocation of her phone, which would cut off a lot of time in terms of people trying to find that last location. So those are just kind of discrete apps, obviously, that you can have. Now,
What's the
she
name
was
of
at a
it though?
yoga retreat. It doesn't sound like she was at a hotel.
Yeah,
So that might be a different situation in terms of security and how you would secure yourself. But I would absolutely start with those kind of tracking apps if you're traveling overseas by yourself.
she never
But we
said what tracking app though.
all travel with our phone that you can put and have on your phone, and it gives you just like an extra layer of security. I mean, is something going to happen? Most likely not. Those stats are not in our favor, which is a good thing. But you never know, and so I think it's always just best to have the apps on there, and if you need it, in there.
To donate to the GoFundMe page
Mm.
supporting Ng's search and rescue, click on the link in the description. Reporting for Long.
There it is, man. So, man, this is the whole situation. This is the update. This is not the only thing I found. I got another article about the case, but when it comes to being the latest article or latest video, um, this is what I found, and um, it's sad, man. I saw that video yesterday of the sister speaking, and she was talking about how her dad, sleeps with the phone at night in hopes of um, him receiving a phone call from somebody saying that they want a ransom. I mean, that's one of the things to I mean, at least, but if this was to happen to somebody I knew, I'll be like, I would prefer somebody calling me saying, "Hey, man, we gonna need some money." I would prefer that, and I'll do whatever I can to get the money, and then get the money, and get my loved one back instead of getting bad news. I need to I need to follow Tracy Walder and try to. I'm gonna try to get in touch with a lot of people, and try to get a panel going, interview people, get information. Because also too, like the family was saying, they don't want the case to die out, and I'm trying to get over here also to the algorithm to pick up the podcast. I appreciate you guys, man. I appreciate you guys coming in and hitting the like button and sharing this. So I know I haven't covered a lot of true crime lately, but I'm getting back into it, and at the same time, in the hopes that YouTube picks up the algorithm and we can reach more people, because the more we can reach people, the more we get the word out, and we don't let the case fade out. Let me see. I found, well, for one, oh, another thing, also too, there is a location on this spot. Um, I'm gonna do this because I saw that they responded to um to some post, and a lot of people are getting confused with this is Villa Sumaya, and this is the resort. It's a Villa Sumaya retreat center, and they're located, I guess, in the same location, um, Lake Atitlán, Guatemala. But somebody was saying, hey, you guys need to contact Villa Sumilla, and because they need to give answers. I'm paraphrasing over here, and Villa Sumaya responded to them, and they're like, no, she did not stay with us. She, just clarifying that it was not. They didn't have anything to do, or they didn't have any reservations with Nancy. Nancy didn't make no reservations, or also to the people. So I'm just going through what I read online, and so I might be able to maybe contact them, and also to maybe they can let us know what happened, and also too I can let them clear up the air, so that way they don't get no hate mail or whatever. Now I'm not defending them. I don't know them, so I'm just showing you guys what what they what I read. Whatever I can find, I can share. I'll share with you guys. If you guys want to follow the Instagram page of Help Us Find Nancy, to keep up with the case, or if you guys have any information, you guys can contact the family here. Also, too, if you guys would like to um, donate to the GoFundMe page, this is the GoFundMe page right here. It says, "Help us find Nancy and support the Eng family." Um, let's see. Let me reject the cookies. And this is right here. My name is Jared Lopez, partner of Nikki Eng. That's um, Nikki Yang is the sister of Nancy, and Jared is the partner of Nikki, which is sisters with Nancy. So this is the page right here. That way you guys don't get confused. And yeah, if you guys would like to follow us on Instagram, we see this is our official page for the podcast. We have Activate LA on Instagram too, but this is for our podcast, Activate LA Radio. You guys can follow us here, inboxes, send us messages, or if you have any information about the case, you guys can inbox us there. Email us at infoactivatela@gmail.com, and I'll get back to you guys as soon as I can. Let's go into the other video that I have here for you guys.